Hey guys, it's Clay from Clear Critique. I'm a big fan of James Bond movies, and one of my favorite things to do on this channel is to compare what I consider to be the top 2 and bottom 2 movies of a Bond actor. I've done Craig, Brosnan, Dalton, found a way to do Lazenby, and now it's time for Roger Moore. The guy was in 7 Bond films, so narrowing this down wasn't easy. But after rewatches, I found the right pairs of terrific and terrible. So today I'm going to discuss the worst Bond movies from Roger Moore. Octopussy versus A View to a Kill. 2 films, 7 categories, which sank the lowest? Stay tuned for the best 2 video coming soon, and subscribe and click the bell to support the channel. Love you guys, let's do it. These movies would be apt for comparison regardless of the setup, because both plots run into a similar problem. They push a more interesting story to the side in favor of a C plot at best. Octo offers a frustrated Russian general sick of armistice, attempting to reignite a war, but instead we focus on a Fabergé egg and a girl with a stupid name. In A View to a Kill, Zorin plans to wipe out Silicon Valley, but we barely get to that because we spend so much time on remotely activated horse steroids? In a word, Octopussy is nonsense. Too many characters, too many motivations to juggle, and the setups are goofy. The more you watch, the stupider it gets, but I can't say I was in agony, at least at first. It was very silly, but I was laughing at it. That's something. Just to give you a sense of how insane Octo Undercarriage is, here's a montage of what I like to call what moments.
Sit. उठ जा हमारे पलंग से।
Yeah. Then about halfway through, pacing grinds to a halt when Octopussy herself is introduced. Yes, as I implied earlier, that is someone's name, not the porno version of that Ocean sequel. The film's watchability was based on its chaotic stupidity, and when it slows down, that stupidity becomes a lot less adorable. Slow pacing puts every scene under a spotlight, and there you can see the caked-on makeup. The second half of this movie is an expository suppository. Yeah, that's the phrase I'm going with. There are antics, then dry dialogue, and no sense of adventure or progression. A View to a Kill's setup is much stronger, the plot more clearly defined even though it falls apart later on. And sure, the dialogue could use another pass.
The bubbles tickle my Tchaikovsky.
Wouldn't be a bad Bond movie without a bad double entendre. Shit, can we do 3 in a row?
Oh, my dear, I take it you spend quite a lot of time in the saddle.
Yes, I love an early morning ride.
Oh, I'm an early riser myself.
Still, there are enough moments of intrigue and banter to keep the ship afloat. At least Octopussy brought us this moment that really should be a meme at this point. Seriously, everyone should just make their own. Read any review on A View to a Kill and Moore's age will be brought up. Yes, he was 56 here, and both the audience and the actor thought he was too old for the part. The general consensus is that Bond should be cast in their 30s, and I agree for the most part. I'm open to an older spy, but it doesn't work as well when Bond movies have these big action set pieces. Craig's Bond especially focused on physicality, and while the actor was miserable getting into that kind of shape, I do think it benefited the films, at least how that Bond was written. So if you want an older Bond, make this more of a hard espionage film, you know, mind over matter. Or, here's a thought, make a spy film that isn't Bond. No, not that one. It's not like Roger Moore's age hurt his acting. He's still charming and has those well-placed, satisfied smirks akin to Alec Trebek hearing the wrong answer. The issue comes when these films go for spectacle. Let's be fair, it's hard to do stunts when you're old. Not everyone is Tom Cruise or Jackie Chan. The filmmaking has to keep cheating us out of seeing the actor, including some very obvious stuntmen. What's wild is that even ignoring this age versus stunts issue, Octopussy seems to go out of its way to make Bond ridiculous. Yes, I get that his dressing as a clown later on is supposed to be poetic justice, as 009 died as a clown, but that's still 00 agents dressed as fucking Biggles.
bomb be? Great clown bit.
I'm deadly serious. I'm a British agent.
What?
A View to a Kill may have scenes unsuited for the actor and may have cut the shot halfway through the iconic catchphrase.
The name is Bond. James Bond.
How do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up?
But simply by containing less antics, the movie better utilizes the actor. Octopussy is Bond at his most undignified. Stacy from A View to a Kill is a forgettable Bond girl, offering one blank expression, and I swear that actress's role in that 70s show has to be a riff on her performance here. It is impossible to take her seriously.
How yesterday the Zoran was pumping seawater into his wells. Is there a connection?
Seawater?
Yikes. No wonder 007 didn't use his A material.
Oh, does that mean you're not staying the night? I was hoping we'd spend the evening together.
That might be the worst pickup line in a Bond film. Wait, no, Quantum is still king.
I can't find the stationery. You come and help me look.
The titular Octopussy, oh Christ, that alone could get this video demonetized, marks when the film screeches to a stop. And while the plot is mostly to blame for that, she is certainly not helping. The only thing worse than the name are the Cirque du Soleil level contortions the script completes in order to make the octopus woman theme function.
Sir, I think, as if you'll forgive the analogy, only the tip of the tentacle.
And the performance is so wooden it makes 2019 Jasmine spark by comparison. Then there's Magda, who also isn't great, but for very entertaining reasons. She frequently has this look like she got a whiff of a particularly decadent fart. Some of the faces she makes are otherworldly.
Up to now, you are the least lethal.
Oh my god, what is she doing? It's like a face being viewed by someone on shrooms. There is one thing I should add about this film. How do I put this? Land ho, pirates, thar be ample booty. The sheer amount of occasionally dressed women in this movie is astonishing. They are everywhere. Gotta love the 80s. Fuck yeah! However, the critic in me can't ignore the failures of these prominent characters, no matter how many calendar spreads they throw at me. This one's close, but I'm gonna give the point to A View to a Kill. At least Stacy wasn't a bomb with a silly name dropped on the film's pacing. In true Octocat fashion, there are more villains than needed, and they vary in quality. General Orlov is quite something, a swirl of Willem Dafoe and Christoph Waltz.
Lead to total victory in 5 days against any possible defense scenario.
He's over the top, but his role in the story is one of the more interesting aspects, even though it takes a backseat to shenanigans. I also like his last line. Most last lines from a Bond villain are "Rawr!" Here, spoilers, Orlov gets a triumphant line and dies, in his mind, a glorious death. Quite the change of pace. I like it. Sadly, we spend more time with Kamal Khan, who's a bore of a baddie. Then there's the henchman with an impractical yo-yo. Did I mention this movie was stupid? Let's move that mush to the side and talk about Max Zorin. I love Christopher Walken's performance here. There's a lot of technique on display. When Bond makes it clear he's onto him, Zorin does a little gulp, and his posture and eye contact completely drop into dismissiveness, as if to say, alright, whatever, I'm done playing games, don't care, you'll be dead soon anyway. Walken also has a great smile, toothy, charming, which works well for a villainous character because it's like he's laughing at you.
Intuitive improvisation is the secret of genius.
I have no complaints about the acting, and I appreciate how they built up the character. Zorin is shown from a distance for a good deal of time, and we don't hear him speak until a half hour. This is called foreboding.
They'll more likely try to cover up your embarrassing incompetence.
Don't count on it, Zoran.
You amuse me, Mr. Bond.
Yet his refusal to kill Bond, even for this franchise, is bonkers. Zorin, my man, you know this guy is watching you. He heavily implied he saw an assassination you orchestrated, and you let him spend the night with your accomplice?
What are you, feeding him? Why don't you just kill him?
Bond runs off, and when they eventually catch him and kill his doddering accomplice, then they judo chop him and put him in the backseat and push the car into the river.
I'm going to leave them alone and not actually witness them dying. I'm just going to assume it all went to plan. What?
I have a gun in my room.
While this is inane and occasionally irritating, I still consider Zorn to be one of the best Bond villains for the charm and skill Walken brings to the role. And I didn't even get to Mayday, who isn't only physically interesting but serves as a supportive rather than submissive warrior to Zorn, without the movies stopping dead to awkwardly establish this. The two of them exude trust and chemistry. They are joyfully diabolical. Anyway, View to a Kill gets the point. Meh. We need to talk about this opening of Octopussy, where a clown runs through a forest and is murdered. So bizarre. Leave out the clown and the scene isn't bad. Having no music heightens the tension, the editing has some rhythm, but with a clown, it comes across as a dark comedy or one of those videos when you tunnel down to that side of YouTube. We learn that this is 009, which begs the question of why are you still carrying a balloon, you idiot? There are some bright spots of action in the movie. The train sequence has some decent stunt work. This bit with the plane is pretty awesome. Also, I like the pen gadget. But when the movie puts its dunce cap back on, the action suffers. The car chase is embarrassing, complete with a tennis joke and the floppiest ramp in cinematic history. I mean, look at it. Eric Cartman couldn't even jump that, and he's a professional.
Hang on, James.
Later on, we get the fakest looking weapon I've ever seen. That couldn't open a fucking envelope. The fistfights are slow and look weaker than this sad excuse for martini shaking. The final action scene is reminiscent of the volcano lair attack from You Only Live Twice, except instead of ninjas, we have acrobats, and instead of quality, we have the DCEU Flash trying to run. I hope he wasn't running like that from the cops. I know I'm ripping on this film, but don't worry, View to a Kill, I didn't forget about you. The way action set pieces lurch into comedy is enough to give you whiplash. Like the snowy intro, whose stunts are impressive, but the music is corny and then changes to a terrible, terrible joke. Why? How about the most New Jersey Frenchman in existence?
Oh, my God! Oh!
Or the needless wino reaction shots. This was a common joke back in the day, and it took too long to die out. Kinda like Star Wars.
Boom. Roasted.
The car chase in San Fran isn't a Bond set piece. It's a low-budget cop movie. Pure idiocy on screen. The movie's action sinks the lowest in the third act. The mines just aren't an interesting setting. We get exposition about earthquakes, then there's a flood and explosions and Walken's mowing down guys with a machine gun. It's so rushed and tonally confused. Just to cap it off, we get this scene on the Golden Gate Bridge where Bond and Zorn dance with an axe, and the use of stunt actors becomes more apparent with each shot. It's like that Mad TV skit where Oprah changes weight from camera to camera. For more bright spots and less stupid ones, the point goes to the eight-legged feline. The Roger Moore films were mostly uniform in their visual design of the credit sequences. Silhouettes, slow images, practically interchangeable. The main shift for A View to a Kill is the song itself. It's the most non-Bond song the franchise has had, so the sexy mystique element is lacking, but as a song itself, it's fun. The credits transition into some truly awful establishment shots. It's like the cameraman is lost. Alright, let's... Oh, that's not Bond. That's not Bond. Maybe he's up here? No, he's not there. Fuck! He's not there either. Shit. Where? Yes! We got him! Found him, guys. I still have a job. Octo's opening credits are a slog, with the only noteworthy elements being this guy absolutely going to town on his dancing partner, and the first glory hole reference I've seen in a Bond film. Sure, Billie Eilish's No Time to Die may have sounded like someone with throat cancer trying to sing a lullaby they forgot the words to, but this one is even slower and duller than that. I think this is my second least favorite Bond opening credits.
What's your least favorite, Clay?
Oh, I can answer that with a joke. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Howdy.
Howdy.
As far as the rest of Octopleasure's presentation, nothing is shot particularly well and not much effort is made in creating drama or tension. When the music isn't corny and shrill, it's unmemorable. There's a real slap-together feel to a lot of the sequences. It could have been vibrant, exotic, but for the most part it's rather ugly, when the camera bothers to linger at all. Neither movie offers strong presentation. Both are littered with technical flaws, but A View to a Kill is a hell of a lot less messy and offers a well-arranged shot here and there.
Well done, my good man.
One of the major appeals of a Bond film is that you can marvel at the locales. Much of the time, there's actually a reason for Bond to frequent these places. The villains are often well funded. The various countries also generate a sense of momentum in the plot. We're going somewhere, and it's easier for us to stay engaged as long as you don't hop around too quickly. And that's what I like about A View to a Kill, at least at first. The first third features several high-class environments that are beautiful, but in a specifically elitist way. Like the stables that scream power and old money, and where the film pointedly notes that the horses have better living quarters than the servants. It's obscene wealth, almost oppressive. And since this is all the villain's domain, we're learning about him before he says a word. For the other film, the only time the location is used in a way that feels like a Bond movie is during the backgammon scene, and maybe the auction. For the former, there's at least a sliver of tension, and the editing finally takes its ADHD meds. As someone who grew up with Turks and witnessed much backgammon, I'll say there's definitely not enough trash talking in this scene. But I'm glad things have calmed down. The passive-aggressive verbal sparring is a joy in this franchise because it not only fits the classy environments, but it's a tease for later. Like romantic tension blossoms to the final kiss, this builds to the final showdown where Bond kills the villain with a drill, a garrote wire, or a harpoon in the cock. That's not nearly enough, and Octo's sheer stupidity rears his derpy head too many times to count. Did I mention the snake charmer playing the Bond theme? I'm not trying to judge it by modern standards, I know the 80s were a cheeky time. Plus, look how fucking stupid Stranger Things got.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
Still, I can't help but roll my eyes. For all its faults, A View to a Kill at least has the locations, the situations, and the sense of swagger that give it the edge. It's a bad Bond film, but at least it feels like a Bond film. Tallied up, and the near wipeout victory goes to A View to a Kill. This may surprise some of you, as it's commonly seen as the worst one for more. I don't blame those who think that way. It sucks. But this raggedy mollusk manages to take the two worst things a Bond film can be, that being stupid or boring, and stuffs them into the same story. From the script to the editing room, Octopussy is a broken film. A false Fabergé that someone sat on, and a solid contender for the worst in the series.
Ah, Q. How are you? Most unhappy 007, thanks to you.
What is your pick for the worst Roger Moore Bond movie? You should comment below, I read them all. I'm working on the top 2 best video next, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe and click the bell to support the channel, check out my other Bond videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.